Hello, everyone. I am Chuang. Let's draw the body of Yangchuanosaurus. Yangchuanosaurus is a large carnivore. We should pay attention to its physical features when drafting. As a theropod dinosaur, it had short forelimbs and relatively long hind legs, and its body was relatively long. Yangchuanosaurus belongs to the Metriacanthosauridae, so the neural spines on its back were higher than those of ordinary carnivorous dinosaurs, and we need to consider the space for them. When drafting, we should pay attention to the proportions of its head, neck, torso and tail and pinpoint them properly, so that it is not easy to mess up the composition when we draw. Now, let's draw the whole body of Yangchuanosaurus. We first determine the locations of each body part. This is the length of its head, the pelvis is at the center of the paper, and the posterior half is for the tail. Now, let's start by drawing its iconic rounded head with dotted lines, followed by its curved neck and arched back. Here is its pelvis, and its tail is curved in an S shape. The tail was thicker at the base, and became thinner at the end. Then, let's determine the length of its legs. The length of its thigh and calf is approximately equal to that of its skull. The sum of its sole and toes is about the same length as a leg bone. Then, we trace its head. Now, we can go into details. It had a pointed nose. The upward bulged keratinous structure can be drawn with some thickness. There was a relatively blunt lacrimal horn in front of the eye, and a large bump behind it. The rear of its skull is tilted backward. We use dotted lines to show its temporal fenestra slightly. Its skull is very thick and high, and with the covering of lips, the skull looks even thicker. The line will go down at the jugal bone. When it closes its mouth, its lower jaw forms an arc. The rear of the lower jaw can be slightly thicker. Then, let's draw its small eyes. Around this eye, we can draw some wrinkles. We can also show its thick and tough skin behind the eyes. In front of the eye is its antepital fenestra. Then, let's use rows of small dots to represent the neatly arranged large scales on the mouth. The same goes for the lower jaw. Draw a dotted line on the lower jaw to represent the outline of the lower jaw teeth bulged outward after the upper teeth are inserted. Next, let's draw its neck. At this point in the head, a set of very small muscles extended upward. There were thick and large muscles on both sides of its neck. We can draw its throat to be slightly bulging. Outline its shoulder blades here. Behind the shoulder blade, let's draw its arm. The upper and lower arms were very short. The fingers can be drawn longer. It had 3 fingers, the first was the shortest but with the longest claw, the second was with a smaller claw but was the longest. Next, let's outline the ribs. Here is its pelvis. We will draw this leg moving forward. The calf need to drawn with fuller muscles, and the muscles to the ankles can be drawn smaller. Then, let's draw the sole, and use wrinkles to show the ankle joint. Its calf muscles connected to its heels. Next, we draw the toes. There were 4 toes on each rear foot, 3 were used for walking, and a small one was on the inside. Let's draw its toes from the outside. The outermost toe had 4 pads and inner toes had 3, but most of them are blocked and may not be visible. From this angle, we can see the smallest toe on the inside. Then, we draw the other leg. The thigh cannot be seen because the knee joint of most carnivorous dinosaurs is almost parallel to its belly. Viewed from this side, its body blocks the thigh on the other side. Now, we come to the foot, and we can see the entire first toe from this side, and also only the 2 load-bearing toes can be seen. Then, we move to draw the other arm. Now, let's draw its arched back. Then, let's move to its tail. Draw the loose skin on the rear of the thigh that connects to the tail. At this position of the tail, we draw a middle seam starting from the pelvis backward, the boundary between the upper and lower sets of muscles. Let's draw a row of spikes resembling iguanas along the back, starting from the neck. Those on the neck can be smaller, and those on the back may be the tallest and then gradually become smaller until the end of the tail. Then, draw some folds, such as between the shoulder blades and ribs, on the dorsal side of the neck, and the boundary between the neck and shoulders. We can draw more folds in often bent parts. Then, draw the muscles on the thigh, followed by some folds on the knees. We can draw some shadows on the underside of its belly and arms. We also show the muscles in the arms. On the insteps of its feet, let's draw some large scales. Let's also add some more scales around the eyes. On its body, we can draw some evenly spaced dots to represent this carnivorous dinosaur, possessing some relatively larger scales sandwiched between the small scales. We can also add some large scales on the backs of its fingers. Finally, Let's draw some shadows on the ground. In this way, we have finished drawing the whole body of Yangchuanosaurus,